Yo, what's up, everybody? This is your boy, President Dante, and I'm coming to you to kind of talk about this Robert De Niro video, man. I'm gonna tell you, Robert De Niro, please stick to acting. Please do not try to stomp for the Biden-Harris, administration. Politics is not your thing. You're so deranged when it comes to Trump. It's ridiculous. Y'all got to listen to what he said. Then upset because of the fact people are saying F him, F Joe Biden, and everything, that Trump should come out and tell them to be quiet, but then you'll call Trump a thing. You think I'm lying? Let's take a listen for yourself and hear what this 350-year-old actor is saying, and yet don't know the Constitution. The First Amendment says people have the right to say what they want to say, as long as they're not crying a fire in an open theater or a crowded theater. They can say what they want to say. We have a First Amendment right. But Robert De Niro is saying, if you don't agree with me, and if you don't say what I'm saying, and you dissent from what I'm saying, or the left is saying, then you should be silenced. We see it all on TikTok. If you're a conservative, your videos get shadow banned. All those things, you get pulled down for simple stuff, but then you can have other things being promoted, and people can outwardly lie, and it's okay. And when you call it out, they find no violation, but you can say something that's very truthful, and they'll take your stuff down. See, the thing is, we're at a time now where people are like a beautiful lie instead of the ugly truth. Give me the ugly truth any day instead of a beautiful lie, because I'd much rather know the truth so I can deal with it than hear a beautiful lie that I got to keep hearing lies on top of lies on top of lies to try to swallow it. This is crazy. But let's listen to this deranged, washed up actor talk about Trump because he's so deranged. Let's listen. Oh my God. You can't make this stuff up, y'all. You cannot.
Which he's succeeding in some areas and places to do. Anyway, beside all that, this is my neighborhood, downtown New York City. I grew up here and feel at home in these streets. I feel comfortable. The Twin Towers fell just over here, just over there. This part of the city was like a ghost town. But we vowed we would not allow terrorists to change our way of life.
And remember, you guys equate January the 6th to 9/11 and say that January the 6th was worse than 9/11. Make that make sense. 3,000 people lost their lives on 9/11. Only one person lost their life on January the 6th, and that was Ashley Babbitt. Anybody that subsequently passed away after that had nothing to do with what happened at the Capitol. And by the way, Trump never told him to go down there and fight and become violent. He told him to go down there peacefully and patriotically. I don't understand how anybody's inciting a insurrection or an insurrection if they're telling people to go down there peacefully and patriotically. And how in the whole heaven and hell can you overthrow the government with signs and flags? Please make that make sense, but they won't, because see, they want to give fear tactics. This is what they do. This is what they do. This is why I can't rock with the left anymore, because the left, something wrong with them. That's all I got to say.
And we started the Tribeca Festival to bring people back. I love this city. I love this city. I don't want to destroy it. Donald Trump wants to destroy not only the city, but the country, and eventually he could destroy the world. But we vowed we would not allow terrorists.
They saying F Joe Biden.
I owe this city a lot. And that's why it's so weird that Donald Trump is just across the street. Because he doesn't belong in my city. I don't know where he belongs, but he surely doesn't belong here. We New Yorkers.
Wait a minute, Robert. You said that Trump doesn't belong in New York. He is from New York. And the last I checked, no state belongs to any individual. It belongs to the people. I mean, if that's the case, then stop taking our tax money to pay for these states and these cities, because they belong to you. So you should be paying for everything. Stop taking our money if it belongs to you, and you can say who can be in certain places. You have no right. See, this is what happens with the left. You give them a little bit of power, and they do not want to relinquish it. And this is the reason why we got to stop giving our power to these elitists, because when we do, it's going to be like hell trying to get it back. Think about this, y'all. Once you give the government control, they do not want to release power. At this part, this dude right here, an elitist or amongst the elitist class, he'll sit up here and say who could be a part of a certain area. Who gives him the right? You can't make it up.
Used to tolerate him when he was just another grubby real estate hustler masquerading as a big shot, a two-bit playboy lying his way into the tabloids, pretending to be a spokesperson for himself. He was calling it as himself for himself, to fool the press into inflating his net worth. A clown. But this city is pretty accommodating. We make room for clowns. We have them all over the city. People who do crazy things in the street, we tolerate it. It's part of the city. It's part of the culture. But not a person like Trump who will eventually run the country. That does not work, and we all know that. Anyway, we make room for clowns, to each his own. But no one takes him or took him really seriously. They take him seriously now, of course. But around the country, people who didn't know him, as we did, started to support him. They bought into his bullshit.
And maybe that's the problem. People are not buying into you woke actors BS anymore. And that's why y'all are so angry. Nobody's buying into that anymore. We understand that you guys are rich. You have security. You can afford to do all those things. That people that are on the ground that's in New York, they understand that crime is out of control. Inflation is out of control. And regardless of what you want to say, Mr. DeNiro, and whoever else is on the left that may have something to say, is that we have seen a Trump presidency and we have seen a Biden presidency. And guess what? We can look back and say, you know what? Things were a lot better under Trump. You know, we wasn't in all these different wars. People wasn't trying it in the small town like they doing under Biden. I mean, you got even people on the left that despise Biden, but yet and still you want everybody to be mad at the orange man because you're mad at him and you really don't have a reason to be. Like I said, again, you're getting paid because of your status and your name to try to influence people. People are not buying it anymore. People are living in a reality that, you know what, in 2024, because y'all keep going regressive, y'all keep going back to the past. We're talking about 2024 where people can barely pay their mortgage, rent, light bill, buy food, buy gas, and all of this. But y'all keep talking about what happened in 1989 with the Central Park 5. Y'all keep talking about things about the 70s where Trump allegedly wouldn't rent to black people. These are the things that y'all keep talking about because y'all have nothing else to talk about. Right now, people that wasn't even born during those times are living under the Joe Biden presidency. We're seeing the debacle of Joe Biden. This has nothing to do with Trump. But y'all want to make everything that's negative be applied to Trump, but everything that's positive that Biden really came in and took some things away and re-implemented that Trump had already in place, that yet and still, you know, Trump is a bad guy. And before some of y'all said, well, Trump, he was riding on the coattail of Obama. Well, most presidents, they come in 2 years after. They usually ride on those policies. But Trump was there for 4 years, not just the president of 2020. He was a president from 2017 to 2021. And even when it came to the novel virus called COVID, I think he did a pretty good job with it, considering the fact it was new. But Fauci, some way, knew that it was going to be an outbreak during Trump's administration. Those are the questions that I would like answered. Somebody need to answer that for me.
Trump bought their votes with outrageous lies and empty promises. He got the most religious evangelicals to applaud a sinner who bragged about sexual assault. And just a couple of blocks from here, a jury found him liable for sexual abuse.
Robert, those of us that are believers in Christ, we understand when a woman was caught in adultery that Jesus forgave her. We understand there's a lot of things that people have done, even in the Bible, that wasn't what you would call God's standards. But God can use anybody. You know what I'm saying? God used flawed people to show his perfection. It has nothing to do with us, because if people see our perfection, Mr. DeNiro, they won't see God. That's not how it works. God always used flawed people. God has never used nobody perfect, but his son to be able to be an example. But for as us, as humans, we're all fallible. We're all in a position where we can make mistakes, fall, sin, and everything else. And guess what? Every sinner has a past, just like every saint has a future. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just weird to me. And I said that backwards. Every saint has a future, just like every sinner has a past. We got to consider that, Mr. DeNiro. But I'm quite sure you on your high horse would never.
Abuse. Somehow he even got.
And look at the dude in the back, big pun. He back there in the back trying to read his script so we can make sure when he come up, he got his lines right. You know what I'm saying? He didn't study enough, his lines enough, so he got to study real quick before he come up and speak.
Self-styled patriots to support a man who called for terminating the Constitution, and on January 6th rallied an angry mob to threaten democracy, leaving death and destruction in its wake. That's why I needed to be involved and wanted to be involved in the new Biden-Harris ad, because it shows the violence of Trump and reminds us that he'll use violence against anyone who stands in the way of his megalomania and greed.
Go to the Capitol peacefully and patriotically. Stand up and fight like hell, which every politician have said. But Robert DeNiro, you act like that's not true. The thing is, Trump didn't go down there and do anything. He told people to stand up for their rights, because if they didn't, we would lose them. And we're drastically losing them day by day. Things that we could say 10 years ago, we can't say today. Things that we could do 10 years ago, we can't do today. So Trump was right in that aspect, but yet y'all want to keep on fear mongering. And I think you're even going to say that you're trying to stoke fear. That's what you're trying to do anyway. I'm gonna let you speak. I just can't. Now that went back too far.
Styled patriots to support a man who called for terminating the Constitution, and on January 6th rallied an angry mob to threaten democracy, leaving death and destruction in its wake. That's why I needed to be involved and wanted to be involved in the new Biden-Harris ad, because it shows the violence of Trump and reminds us that he'll use violence against anyone who stands in the way of his megalomania and greed. But it's a coward's violence. You think Trump ever threw a punch himself or took one? This guy who ran and hid in the White House bunker when there were protesters outside? No way. He doesn't get blood on his hands.
First of all, Secret Service took him to the bunker. But yet, when January the 6th happened, do you forget about the way they had that Capitol surrounded with all those fences and all those guards and all those National Guard people out there? Do you forget that? Because I don't. I remember when they had it, fenced in like it was, a prison. That's the way they treated the Capitol at one time. But you're talking about Trump when they was actually doing an insurrection. So as the White House, he was a president even on January the 6th. Y'all keep forgetting that part. Y'all got to open y'all brains. These people will gaslight you if you allow them to. Listen, you can't brain F me. I'm gonna tell you something. You can't. I'm too old to do it, and these people are too dumb to sit up here and allow them to play with my mind like that. I can't do it no more. I can't do it.
No, he doesn't. He directs the mob to do his dirty work for him by making a suggestion, an inference, and his gang grovels and follows his obvious order. It's no surprise that the murder rate and other violent crimes peaked under Trump and are falling under Biden. And now he's promising to use our own military to attack U.S. citizens. That's the tyrant. That's the tyrant he's telling us he'll be. And believe me, he means it. When Trump ran in 2016, it was like a joke. This buffoon running for president. No, never could happen. We'd forgotten the lessons of history that showed us other clowns who weren't taken seriously until they became vicious dictators. With Trump, we have a second chance. And no one is laughing now. This is the time to stop him by voting him out once and for all. We don't want to wake up after the...
Wait a minute. How can you vote somebody out that's not in? He's not in yet. So how can you vote him out? Y'all tried to take him out of office with these impeachments that failed. I mean, you guys have threw everything, the sink, the commode, everything at Trump to try to stop him. Why? These are the questions that y'all refuse to answer. And him being a dictator in the United States, the only way that can happen is if we, the people, allow it. And the last I checked, we, the people, ain't having it. So y'all got to stop with all this fear mongering. I mean, it's just bananas to me.
Election saying, what, again? My God, what the hell have we done? We can't have that happen again.
And that's the way we feel about Biden. We can't have this happen again. We cannot do 4 more years of Biden, and we show in the whole heaven and hell cannot do 4 years on a Kamala. The wheels on the bus, Kamala, no. It's a hard no for me.
Yesterday was Memorial Day. It's a good time to reflect on how Americans fought and died so that we may enjoy the freedoms guaranteed to us by a democratic government. A government that, as President Lincoln said, of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Under Trump, this kind of government will perish from the earth. I don't mean to scare you. No, wait, maybe I do mean to scare you. If Trump returns to the White House, you can kiss these freedoms goodbye.
Did you hear him say the quiet parts out loud? I'm not trying to scare you. Well, then again, yeah, I am trying to scare you. The thing is, we are a constitutional republic. As it was said, we'll remain a constitutional republic if we can keep it. See, the thing is, we're relinquishing it in the name of democracy. We got to understand we have a democratic process, but we're not the democracy type of government. But this is what these people want you to believe. If you say it long enough, I believe his name was Mr. Goebel with, Smittler. He said that if you repeat a law long enough, that it will become truth. And this is what they're doing. They keep on saying things like democracy, and he's a threat to our democracy. They keep saying it, hopefully that people will start buying in and not know there's a difference between a constitutional republic and a democracy type of government. These people are idiots.
That we all take for granted. And elections, forget about it. That's over. That's done. If he gets in, I can tell you right now, he will never leave.
Last I checked, in 2021, January the 20th at 12 p.m., Trump was on his way to Florida. So we got to look at history. So if Trump didn't want to leave or wasn't going to leave, don't you think he would still be in the White House right now? No, he left and went to Mar-a-Lago. And now he's talking about going back to the White House. You have a problem with it. He left. If that was not the case, then how is it that Joe Biden is in there allegedly? I'm just saying, how? These people don't think that people think.
He will never leave. You know that. He will never leave. What does that mean? Is that the country we want to live in? Do we want him running this country and saying, I'm not leaving, I'm dictator for life? I hope this new ad campaign reaches outside the bubble to remind supporters of what a danger he is to our lives. This is not a threat. This is a reality. And that's why I've joined the Biden-Harris campaign, because the only way to preserve our freedoms and hold on to our humanity is to vote for Joe Biden for president. Really.
Nope.
We don't have a choice.
Yes, we do.
On January 6th, while Republican lawmakers despicably tried to keep the loser Trump, in the White House, and Trump-inspired insurrectionists stormed the Capitol, brave men and women from law enforcement put their lives on the line to defend this country.
You know what? I'm going to say this right quick. In order to be an insurrectionist, shouldn't you be charged as one? You know, you can be everything else if you're charged with a rapist, whatever, arsonist, when you've been charged and found guilty of those things. None of the people from January the 6th was charged with insurrection. Sedition and insurrection is two different things. Look it up for yourself. It's not the same. But these people make you think it is. I just can't. I'm sorry for interrupting so much. I just can't with these people.
Our democracy. They are the true heroes. These guys are the true heroes.
Zeros.
They stood and put their lives on the line for these low lives, for Trump.
They lied under oath.
and put their lives on the line for low lives. So anybody that support Trump, according to this fool, they are low lives. Gotcha. Duly noted. Black man for Trump.
They lied under oath. Right. Who lied under oath? What are you telling me?
Those two traitors behind you.
Excuse me?
Those two traitors behind you.
They lied under oath?
That's right.
What are you saying?
They're traitors.
They're traitors. You gotta, I don't know, I don't even know how to deal with you, my friend. I don't even know how to deal with you.
And that's how you do it. This is how you do it. You call somebody out to their face. The dude, I don't see him on the camera, but he was saying the two dudes standing behind you, they lied on the oath. And then he goes say, I don't even know how to respond to that because that wasn't in your script. Whoever wrote your script, they did a bad job. Maybe they need to rewrite and try it again. And you guys got to practice it a lot of times to make sure it's believable, because half of the things you were saying did not come from the heart. It came from someone else's brain and you just read it. And that doesn't resonate with the real people. Most people want to feel genuine, heartfelt conversation. And this is what Trump is doing. He's going to the places that Joe Biden refuses to go. Trump is showing up at the, libertarians conference. He's showing up in the Bronx, hopefully going to Chicago. But the thing is, Biden is not showing up nowhere besides to Morehouse, where they gave him a honorary doctorate and that like he really care about black folk. The only thing he's telling us is that you got a country that don't love you because of your skin. But yet Obama was the president. These people are a joke. I can't no more, man. I'm not trying to make this a long video. We already 21 minutes in. Y'all comment below and let me know what y'all think. Talk to y'all soon. Peace. Jesus, fix it.